It doesn't work when there's more than one.
That's why I'm trying to.
We're trying to do it all at the same time. 5, 4. All right, Josh, hit it.
Oh my goodness. Welcome back to Sorry Spider, the review dudes. We're here with episode 3. This is Josh.
This is Jason.
And I'm PJ.
Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Malignant. It's a pretty popular one out there today.
It's a newer one, just came out. We all kind of got a chance to check it out, so this one's not going to be as in depth as our last one.
Yeah, the last one was pretty long, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot to unpack with that one.
Yeah.
And hopefully
there was so much going on.
Hopefully I sound better in this one.
Yeah, we're still working out our sound issues and all that, so bear with us on that, but we're still putting it out there. Who cares? So yeah, Malignant.
Let's get
I'm just trying to get the
we got director James Wan.
Yeah. Oh,
Written by HDMI1. Writers James Wan. Yeah, looks like maybe it was based off a different story. It was probably a Japanese movie.
Let's see.
I'm not sure though.
You know, I could have probably got this up and running before.
The
we started.
synopsis
Would have
was at
been
the top.
perfect.
Oh, was it?
Hey,
Yeah.
but I saw Candyman on there. That was a
Down
pretty
a
good
little
movie.
Right under the picture, Josh. So the synopsis is: Madison is paralyzed by shocking visions of grisly murders, and her torment worsens as she discovers that these waking dreams are in fact terrifying realities.
Terrifying.
Terrifying. Titillating.
Oh my god.
I'm titillated, that's for sure.
So yeah, we did not watch this one together. We each kind of watched it on our own. I actually watched it in 2 sittings because I was tired and old.
And he was scared.
I was so scared.
James Wan is
He
Saw.
did Saw. Yeah, he's done all of the I think the Conjuring movies, I believe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
James Wan is one of the reasons why I wanted to do any kind of movie story, any kind of writing a movie, anything. I think, how old were we when Saw came out? Was that 2003,
Oh
4?
God.
That's been a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were in high school.
But do you remember watching that? And then we watched the special features and realized that was his first film.
Yeah.
And, that sparked me right there. I was like, oh, man, if this dude can do this.
And it was so that's a perfect example of a small, set movie with a great, smart idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know.
utilizing space.
Exactly.
Unlike the last movie we reviewed.
Yeah, unlike Bad Kitty. So yeah, so the general review each of us have, and we really haven't discussed this at all. This is kind of going into it dry.
Fly by the seat of our pants.
Seat of our pants.
What did you think about it, Jason? Overall.
I'm so torn about it. I think I liked it. There were certain things that I didn't like about it, but it wasn't enough to break me for it. So I would say watch again. I would definitely watch that movie here and there. I don't think I would buy it, but yeah. At first I was what do you think? How about you?
I really liked it. There was definitely some things that if they did them on purpose, then I liked the movie even more.
Yeah.
There was some campiness, there was some kind of lack of acting at parts, but it almost made it seem more like kind of one of those just classic 70s and 80s horror movies.
Yeah.
So where, like I said, if they did it on purpose as a throwback to that, then that's awesome. If they didn't, then I still liked it.
I don't know, because James Wan's awesome, and for most of it, and I think I went into it expecting one thing, and was blindsided by what it was, and I think that sort of soured it for me a little bit because of that. But I don't know. Yeah.
What's your review, Josh?
I really liked it. Man, I'm back and forth between watch again and add to the collection.
Okay.
But what's your review, Josh? Nail it down right here for the people.
Add to collection.
There we go.
I like it.
I just recently watched this. Sarah and I watched this last night. I'd definitely watch this again. I'm not going to add it to my collection. However, I really, really, really liked certain parts of this.
Mm-hmm.
I liked when she's running through the house almost at the very beginning, and they're shooting it from above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that shot. I love that it was seamless. They went every room all the way to the upstairs. I was like, oh, that's
I must
awesome.
have not been paying attention. I don't remember that part at all.
Okay, it's when she gets back to the house from when everything starts happening. The doors burst open and she's like, hell no, I'm out of here. And she takes off. And it's a scene where she's actually running through the house from the back and then up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And they shoot it all from above. I love that scene.
Creative camera angles
Yeah.
are always go a long way. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What were some things in general that you guys liked about it? Without giving too much away already, but
Yeah, being that it's just out, we're going to try to keep away from probably too many spoilers.
Oh, we're going full spoiler.
Are we
After
going-
spoiler warning.
All right.
we're doing it.
Screw it.
After the spoiler warning.
After the spoiler.
Just in general, some of the things that I really liked about this movie is it is a little predictable, and they work off that.
Mm-hmm.
And they pretty much put it right in your face. And the people that have seen it, or when we get more into the spoilers, if you just want to listen to it, you're going to understand that real quick. It's almost like he's spoon-feeding you what this is from the beginning, if you're paying attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I thought it was a good story. I felt like this would fit in really well, though, with like the Unbreakable and Glass series and Split.
Yeah.
I think this could be almost like in that universe.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Which I'll also elaborate more on in the spoiler.
Did you just call me a moron?
I always do.
What did I like about it? The blood and stuff was really good.
The blood and stuff.
The blood and stuff. It was fun. I will give it that. It was a fun movie. It kind of had that real Raimi vibe, like a Sam Raimi vibe. And I didn't like catch on to that when I first watched it. Afterwards, I was like, you know what? That kind of had that, Evil Dead-y kind of campiness to it.
That kinda,
and I think that helped me like it more
that
after I
kinda
realized
is
that.
the above camera angle is
Yeah.
a very Raimi kind of deal.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Yeah, you're right.
Do you think watching it another time, do you think you'd probably end up liking it more or
I don't
picking it
know.
apart more?
I think I'd pick it apart more because, I mean, yeah, I guessed what was going on pretty early on, so it wasn't exactly a surprise. But the fact that I was still trying to put the puzzle pieces together when you watch it the first time, it kind of distracts you away from dissecting things. I bumped the mic, sorry.
They can see us now.
Yeah.
Through technology.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I just, I don't know. I'm very like kind of on the fence about it.
It's definitely one of those things. Like, I'm glad I saw it. I liked it. I'm not gonna seek this movie out to see it again.
Yeah.
If it's on, I'm gonna watch it.
Right.
It was definitely more refreshing than Bad Candy.
Yeah.
Sorry to the creators of Bad Candy.
Are we creating a list and Bad Candy's just at the bottom? And we're just like, yeah, it's not Bad Candy. Don't worry.
I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's the fourth tier to our rating system. Is it hard pass or bad candy?
bad
you
candy.
know?
Oh my God! Perfect.
Oh.
You heard it here first. Okay. Is there anything you guys definitely want to like spotlight out? I thought one of the things I thought was cool. We see early on, maybe within the first half hour, they're in Seattle, and they tied together some really cool things about the Seattle Underground that I've heard of but not really seen a lot about, especially in a movie. Like I never saw them like the depths that they went to with this. I thought it was really cool because that's all real.
Right. It gave it a much more like real world feel to it because it was, I don't want to say like a boring part of it because that's not boring whatsoever, but a very mundane kind of feel to it to kind of draw you into that world a little more.
And it was funny. They weren't afraid to be funny
Right.
in this at all. Like the female detective was constantly cracking me
I
up.
liked her. She was she was kind of like the voice of reality and you know the audience's intelligence was coming through her, I guess.
Right.
And I appreciated that. I don't know how much to get into before we say spoiler.
Oh man, I can't wait to get into this spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Well, to anybody out there that hasn't seen it yet, it's definitely worth watching.
Go watch
at
it.
least.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're all in agreement that it's worth. How long is this movie? 2 hours?
It's an hour and a half, I think.
Yeah, hour and a half, 2 hours,
It's-
somewhere in there.
It's definitely worth the watch. You should have fun with it. Take away whatever you want to take away, and let's ruin this movie.
Ruin that movie.
So
All right,
this
so
is spoilers.
spoiler. If you don't want to know details about this movie, please turn off the podcast. Go watch the movie.
And
Come back.
and finish.
Yeah, make sure you come back and finish watching the video.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Yeah.
So here it is. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
All right. So straight off the bat, like the movie, it catches you. The beginning scene, like the beginning, like what, 5 to 10 minutes, whatever.
When they're in,
It
like,
really
the
puts you
hospital.
in the vibe of what the movie's going to be. There's this kind of silly campiness, whatever. What is this guy doing over here with his pinky?
I was so dignified while drinking my water.
I was really thirsty and realized the gulps were coming over the microphone.
And maybe if you're not drinking an entire glass of gin.
So yeah, the beginning is very campy, very fun horror type thing. And it really does kind of take you back to that 80s horror vibe, you know.
I thought, okay, so in that beginning scene, those people are a little rough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but it kind of kicks you into that 80s kind of like over dramatic horror feel.
Over the top, yeah.
And one of the big things I really thought was cool, that like not really transparent curtain, and like seeing Gabriel for the first time, but you don't really
Just
get
those
to
glimpses.
see him.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was awesome.
Like you don't know you're seeing him,
Yeah.
but you are.
Well,
Yeah.
the whole time, from the very beginning, I'm thinking, all right, this chick's just schizophrenic. But then they show this like demon thing, and you're like, okay, maybe this is about aliens or something. Like I'm kind of thrown for a loop. He wasn't afraid to show us that image.
Yeah.
Right. Just to plant that seed.
Yeah.
But I mean, oh my God, he speaks. Like, that was kind of rough.
I think the look of a lot of the movie to me it kept catching me off guard, and I don't know why. It's because I'm like picky with movies, but it's like we're in a hospital. Where are all the lights at? Or you know, we're in the basement of the police station. Why is it so dark? And you know, it's just like
In the hospital, it's 1983. They didn't have the lighting technology that we have now.
they didn't have light bulbs at that point. They
None of
didn't
us
want
were
to
alive.
see during
They
surgery.
only sold flickering fluorescent
It's like
bulbs.
every time they were in a hospital, every scene it was like so dark and dingy, and
I feel like
I don't know.
that's the
it's the horror thing.
that's the shot.
We're gonna make it creepy in here, you know. But
I liked it. I like that creepy, low lit, nonsensical.
It might
dirty
be
hospital.
like it might be a regurgitated thing, but it works pretty well.
Yeah.
And let's face it, I mean, if you saw a horror movie and everything was brightly lit and everything looked clean and wiped down, that's not really that scary.
We should
Well, that part
definitely-
doesn't have to be.
We should
I mean,
definitely do that. We should
Hospitals
do that,
are scary, damn it.
Everybody knows that.
I definitely want to shoot the like the aspect of everybody complains about different horror movies. We need to shoot the scene where like, well, why doesn't that person have a super bright flashlight, or why don't they just turn the light? Why don't they just lock the door behind them and do that stuff so that like the person's like stopped? Like, it's kind of like when we were talking about Bad Candy, where the air compressor kicks on and the guy just kind of like waits for the
Just
compressor to
stands there.
stop. Like that would be
That'd be
comic on
funny.
its own.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
that would be
stuff.
funny.
But one thing I really enjoyed with this movie, though, is once they got into kind of that character running around and jumping through, and it was really kind of creepy looking if you didn't know.
Yeah.
It was kind of, they moved in a very uncomfortable way.
Yeah.
To where you're watching it and you're going, I'm not too sure what's going on with this guy, but something looks not right.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, so we're getting into spoilers. I guess like when I realized what was going on for the big picture, it was the scene in the attic with who you find out is the mom or whatever, strapped to the ceiling, and she's in the dark corner putting on the jacket and the gloves and such. And as soon as I saw like her arm, I'm like, that's a woman. It's probably her. And
I was wondering if you realized right at the moment where like she gets her head bashed in and then all this stuff starts happening. I was wondering if like it all made sense later.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it was how it was written.
Yeah.
It was written to make sense like that. But I think the moment I figured it out was in the bathroom. When it dropped down and she's like standing there warning the detective, like, he's still in here, he's still in here. It was when it was running away. I was like, that thing's got backwards legs. And then I was like,
man, the backwards
that
man.
thing, its hair looks like her hair.
yeah, that was a big giveaway too.
And it's got the backwards legs. That's the back of her head. That's when I pieced it together.
Yeah.
And that's pretty far into the movie.
Right. See, I was watching it with Tiff, and several places throughout the movie, I was like, oh, I got it. This is what's going on. And that happened several times with drastically different theories.
Yeah.
But they all ended up being right.
And like a big thing I thought was, I'm like, okay, she got hit in the head. This is my very first thought of this was, this person is just her. And it's just her making up an image in her head. And then they're interrogating her and the phone rings. And I'm like,
Right.
well, that's not just her making this up in her head.
The whole supernatural, super electrical power thing, I didn't understand it. Did they explain that in any way, shape, or form?
Well, the phone call thing, I think, is more so... what was the character's name?
Gabriel.
I think that was more so Gabriel keeping her seeing that stuff. Like the phone
call in the
didn't really
bathroom.
ring, you know?
No, I'm talking about during the interrogation. Oh, you think
Right.
it was all in her head?
I think it was all in her
head. The detectives
head.
are like sitting there like, what the fuck's this bitch doing?
Right. Like she's friggin' blanked, zoned out,
I guess.
and he's making those things happen.
They made it seem like all that stuff was happening,
real, yeah.
though, but I mean, it could be either
The
way.
way my takeaway was that it really happened.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Because the lights all blew out. That's
And
what
stuff like
happened.
that,
the lights
yeah.
in the hospital,
They
Jason.
kept
you
blowing
fool.
out. And they're like, well, we can't replace them. The hospital bills are too high.
We just don't have the time.
Gotta save lives.
We need to cut out this cancer.
But I can't see. I don't care.
Just guess.
Just
did-
guess.
What? Kind of jumping around a little bit, but what did you think about him making the weapon out of the award, or her? Or...
I'll be honest. I loved the weapon.
I did too.
The
I
knife,
thought it was
pretty
so
cool.
cool.
It was like a punch knife.
I
Yeah.
thought it was, when he first picked it up and it's like, oh, he's gonna make that a weapon. This is gonna be so lame. And then he finished with it, and then I'm like, this is really cool.
I thought it was going to be
actually.
like a 1-kill item.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then he took it home and was like, no, I'm going to sharpen this and fuck everybody up.
Well, one thing I liked about that too is when he did the first kill to the doctor, he didn't like stab her, you know? He just beat the shit
Yeah.
out of her.
Well, he can't. He can't stab her. His arms are backwards.
Wow, true.
He can only jab her.
Well, okay, so when Gabriel was on top of the guy in the bed and was doing the stabbing, I caught that.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does that look so weird? Oh, they're backwards. Like,
Yeah.
that's when I caught the backwards thing.
Mhm.
Like, yes, before that, it was like, why does it look so bizarre? What am
That
I
he can
not
stab
seeing?
backwards fast
But it
as
was
you
like,
can.
I can stab backwards fast as you can. I'm a backwards man.
To touch
yeah.
on my I really think this character could fit in with I really think this character could fit in with the Glass Unbreakable Split.
Yeah.
I hated Split. But-
Really?
Really?
Well, no, Glass.
Glass. No,
hated
yeah,
Glass.
Glass
Okay.
was terrible.
Yeah, I loved Split. I hated
It had
Glass.
so much potential.
And
I-
then
So much potential.
the end of Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The rest of
hated
the movie
end.
was pretty solid.
Pissed me
Killing them
off.
and then doing the whole secret society thing. God, Hollywood, stop giving us secret societies. It's so annoying.
Note to
That's
self,
my
a
thing.
race secret society story I wrote.
I can't.
I love campy secret society stuff. I love it. I absolutely love it. What'll draw me into these like teen horrors? There's one on Netflix. It's about wolves.
Yeah.
What's that called?
The Order.
The Order. I love the secret
Well, here's-
society in that. I love the
here's my
banter
thing about
between the
that.
like misfit wolves
Yeah.
in their house.
If it starts out with that idea
got
and
you.
you're growing on it, that's great.
Right.
But
Just
if
a way to wrap up a
yeah,
story.
that's poor writing to me. It's just like, well, it was a secret society. You know,
Right.
it's just like, come on.
It's that whole, it was all a dream. It's kind of on that
yeah,
same level.
Yeah.
Anyways,
And I think those are writers that are afraid to take the extra, which is weird because some of them, like M. Night Shyamalan, like you'd think he would be willing.
M. Night what?
Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
What is M. Night, Josh?
So as you were saying,
Anyways,
Anyway.
to tie him in, or to tie her in, that scene where she says, "This was always my body,"
Yeah.
and she lifts that bed up. So in that theory, she can control the electricity as well, and she's got super strength.
Yeah, so that would give
Yeah.
her
And-
those abilities.
I want to say that thing was shot quite a few times, so she must heal fast. So she could be another one of these
That would
gifted
be cool.
individuals
Yeah,
that,
that would
could
be
tie
cool.
right into that story. I think that was kind of a, like a little. I feel like that was a trope or a montage, homage to M. Night Shyamalan's Unbreakable kind of deal, like that universe. I feel like that was kind of like a kick to him.
Could
Maybe
be,
not.
yeah.
Who knows?
when I,
James Wan's probably sitting there smoking a cigar like that was an original thought. But it might have been. But I really liked that realization. Like, this was my body the whole time. Like, hell yeah, you can pick that shit up.
I liked the realization. See,
She mastered it too. Yeah, we were talking about this a little bit.
Yeah.
She mastered it way too quickly, and I thought killing the sister would have been a great idea to stick with. I felt like that moment was like, oh shit, they did that.
right?
Like they were willing to go that far, and then it was like, oh, it was an illusion. Like, can we not? Like, just let it happen.
Did you
Which-
guys notice? Sorry, Josh. Did you guys notice that in that scene, like one of the ending scenes where they're painting, like the mom is just like sitting in the bed, like just
Right.
smiling,
Just
like
chilling.
not looking at the daughter anymore. She's just like smiling.
Yeah,
Like that was kind of creepy to me.
it was weird.
Like, cool,
Okay,
they killed
so-
my cancer son. You
Weird
know?
thing, and I don't remember if they addressed this in the movie itself, but the actress who played the mother, I was like, she's way too young to be that woman's mom.
She's only 15 years older.
Yeah,
than
they did
12.
address
Oh, did
that.
they?
Yeah.
I must have missed it because I looked up the actresses. I'm like, she's only 12 years older than her.
I want to say her character was supposed to be late 20s, early 30s, which would have put the mom like 45.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because I mean, the
It threw me off. It was like, why? How
And this is the thing, because the actress that played the mom, young, also looked a lot like the actress that
yeah,
played
and I
the
think that's
daughter,
where I got
young.
confused.
So, like, when she's crying in the videos, talking about her mom won't help her and stuff, that's the mom of Gabriel and Emily.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not the girl. And then we switch to the girl, who looks almost identical to that girl.
Yeah.
So yes, they did talk about that. They had a video interview with the mother, why she's giving away her kids, and she calls Gabriel an abomination,
like a curse
something
from
against
God
God
or
or something,
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are we at?
Oh, but talking about
Rambling.
the girl getting what's the main character's name? Madison. That's right.
How do you remember these things? I'm terrible at remembering names.
I don't know, because I'll pop up like a writer or director, like when we were talking about Bad Candy, Tony Shalhoub. I just remember stupid
Or
shit.
like,
I can't remember the stuff I need to remember.
I'll watch a show with Jen or something. We'll be like seasons into it, and I'll be like, what the hell's that character's name? Oh, the main character of the show. Like, I don't remember what their name is. They're that person.
Right.
I do that all the time.
I don't remember the detective that I really liked, but I remember the other detective's name was Kikio Shaw.
Gotcha.
And her
I
sister
think
was
you're just
Sydney.
making that shit up now.
Her sister was Sydney. Her original name was Emily. She's Madison.
Yeah, you're good
Look
at that.
you.
The mom was... What was Emily's last name?
Sandy.
I lost it.
But
It might have been
Swanson.
Sandra.
It started with an S.
Samsonite. I was way off. But I think when Madison realizes that she could take control over everything, and like I said, we touched on this a little bit before PJ got here. I think it would have been really cool, like he said, to have the sister still die in that scene, and that's what triggers.
That was like the turning point.
Yeah, the
or
turning
whatever.
point.
I thought... I don't necessarily think the sister needed to die, but I would have liked to see a visual fight in that hospital room when she makes the fist, her going over and stopping Gabriel, because mentally and physically it could have been shot the same. I mean, they confronted each other in her brain. So visually we could have seen her at least take over the fight part. She can move now, so the paralysis is gone. She goes over and grabs the arm and pulls it away and stops the sister from dying, and then we see this fight develop, and then it could be an afterthought of, Gabriel has been stopped. There's a physical battle between these two in the hospital room, which even could have been thrown in like a shot from the mom's view or the sister's view of just Madison beating the shit out of herself.
And I was going to say, let's face it, was it too much to ask to see Gabriel just punching Madison in the face over and over again? Like, why are you hitting yourself?
You know what I kind of wanted
That
to
would've been
see?
a cool thing.
I wanted to see Madison reach back and like poke Gabriel's eyes out.
Ooh.
I wanted to see that. I kept expecting it, and I'm like,
Well, then
I'm
she
gonna
would have to be in
like-
control of her arms.
yeah, I mean, like that could be like the final
That
like,
battle,
move. Yeah,
you know?
like at some point, reaching up there and just.
It'd be
like,
funny if like
gouging his
he's
eyes
punching
out.
her with one arm and she's like gouging his eyes out with the other
Yeah.
arm.
I thought that would have been cool, but yeah,
Definitely.
and really
see that,
gross.
Yeah.
And then she would feel that pain, I'm sure, probably too. But
Well, yeah, true, because
But it
she'd
would
be
be-
actually into her
it'd
own
be
skull,
interesting, yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, so to rewind real far back, we were originally, I believe, talking about the weapon. So we haven't even gotten to like the actual other kills or
Yeah.
anything that Gabriel has gone. He's obviously seeking out these people that were trying to eliminate him.
The surgeons.
And I thought, even gonna jump away from that again, I guess we'll go into that real quick. I thought it was a little campy that the original doctor kept all those files for them to go through.
Yeah, who does that?
Right.
That's
Like
like
that-
a HIPAA violation.
Yeah.
So,
Like, leave that at the hospital records department.
Yeah,
you know?
there's no
even
reason, yeah.
and even the detective just being like, we're taking all of these files on these patients. That's illegal. You can't just do that. So, and then the sister ends up at the hospital later. I expected something crazy to happen there.
Right.
They've got all the same files with even more information in them than the files that the woman had actually kept.
Yeah.
So maybe she had just kept like her own journals
Yeah,
of these
maybe,
people,
yeah.
and that's what that was. But I think that's still HIPAA.
Yeah.
Well, that and they went to take the files because of the woman's picture that fell out. Madison's picture fell out of the one file, and then when they go to take all the files and start going through them, they didn't start with that file.
See, I
Yeah,
don't-
because it was been the only one that was pulled out, like
Yeah.
sitting on the table.
They just
Like,
went
why
through
did we need to
everything
go
else.
through all of
the
these?
thing about it is, it was a picture of a little girl, and it said Emily.
Right.
And so they were, if your main person in a crime scene, whatever, a couple days before, is a 30-year-old woman named Madison, a little girl named Emily isn't going to strike them as, this is
Yeah,
her.
okay.
But it kind of did though, because that's what kind of made them go like, "Oh man, she looks really familiar."
Well, they aged her up.
Right.
He gave them to the crime lab, and the crime lab aged her like they would do a
Yeah.
missing person.
All right, yeah,
Which I
fair
want to
enough.
see how accurate that is in general, in real life. Like,
I've
don't
seen
know.
studies on it, and it's hit or miss.
is it?
Yeah, they've done some like really, really close images, and then they've done some like crazy, like Joe Dirt. Like my mom ended up looking like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Like I've seen some really goofy ones like that, but anywho,
Oh
Um,
man.
to get into the killings, some of them were really drawn out. Like you could tell
Right.
he's like, we're not gonna kill him just yet. We kind of knew that Madison was gonna have to be there after the first couple. We knew she was gonna be there. The first one though, oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. I'm glad that I just remembered. She's doing laundry. The panning into the dryer.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
It was a great shot.
And then that's one of those camera angles that I love to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I don't, maybe you don't pay attention to in everyday watching or whatever, that zoom, that subtle zoom. I really like that. But then she turns and you see this face in the glass of the
Yeah.
dryer,
Mhm.
and you're thinking it's just kind of like, projected.
Mm-hmm.
But then she moves away, and you see the whole
And it's the
body,
body,
of the lady
yeah.
behind the door. That was cool. That
Such
was
a
an
good
awesome shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked how they tied that in and blended it all in. I really like that aspect of it. I thought it was cool how they bled into the different scenes of the murders.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of that Silent Hill vibe.
Yeah.
But
and that was one of the
I
things.
think it was cool.
The CG in this was pretty good. Like I actually really liked a lot of the CG in this movie. Like the melding
I don't.
into
Yeah,
the
I don't
different
remember any of it
scenes.
like taking me out of the moment or
Yeah.
anything like
Right.
that. Getting stuck on it. Yeah.
Well, and even with the crispy
Gabriel?
gooby, yeah, Gabriel.
Crispy gooey.
Crispy gooey.
Yeah, crispy
Sloth.
gooby in the back of her head. Fucking sloth. Even with like Gabriel's effects, to where you could tell some of it was practical, the CG ended up enhancing it and not really taking away from it. So
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good
Overall,
job
I
with
thought it was
that.
pretty good. I
Yeah.
think the only thing that really took me out was the hospital, like that cliffside hospital.
Oh yeah.
I think that's like the only
Yeah.
thing that I'm like, that's not really in this world. Like,
So when we were watching the movie, Tiffany was like, "Why is she parked so close to the
cliff.
edge?"
Yeah.
And then it pans out to the hospital. I'm like, "Who builds a hospital on a cliff?" Like,
Batman.
nobody. Yeah, right.
That's where that
Like,
hospital
nobody
belongs.
does this.
That's where that would be.
Where's the hospital?
badass
Farthest,
Arkham.
as far away from town as possible. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, it's a mental hospital. It's
Right.
No, well that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Batcave. No
I
big
mean,
deal.
that looks a lot like it would be a really good Arkham. That would be really cool. That would fit for Arkham and about. That's it.
Yeah.
That was like really the only thing that took me out. I liked the. Was it the third murder in the bathtub? Yeah. Yeah, because she alerts the detective to the second one. I couldn't really understand why she knew so much information about where the second one was until the pan away from the bed and you can see out the window. So where she'd been laying, she would have saw the sign outside. I liked that a lot.
Which I think there was a lot of those teeny tiny little hints and treats in there to where if you notice it, it's like, oh.
See, I kept saying that whole scene, I'm like, why is this dumbass not closing the window? It's pouring down rain outside, and he's worried about getting a towel to dry up the floor.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
there's
like,
these
close
wet
the
footprints.
window. That's where it's coming from.
Yeah, that guy was kind of an idiot. That was just a tension builder, and there were so many points where it's like, okay, now she's gonna come out. Okay, all right. Now she's okay. I guess we gotta wait a little longer.
Right.
Okay,
I kind of would have rather, like the curtain blows away and there's our bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, I would have been cool if he would have rushed him and pushed him out the window.
Yeah.
And then there's just a mangled corpse at the ground. But I guess you have to key in Madison's point to the detectives and help them figure out, oh, this girl is actually seeing this stuff. She's not crazy. But
yeah. Plus, I think it might have been important for Gabriel to use the knife, like, specifically.
Yeah.
Like, you're going under the knife like I was going blah, 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 blah.
Well, I like the duality of it, too. You know, it's a trophy for saving lives.
Yeah.
And he's using it as a weapon to take lives. I'm like, oh, I always love the duality of it.
Yeah, that is
because
cool.
that's the whole movie, too, is that, I hate to keep saying it over and over, but the duality of it.
Yeah.
So.
Did you pick up right away that was her attic?
I assumed.
I didn't.
I didn't either. I thought it was a separate place.
The video.
Oh, no.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, no.
That's our Mars Attacks poster. All right, what do you want me to do? Is it dead?
Let's all go to the lobby.
It might be dead.
Go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
We have technical difficulties. The gimbal might have died.
Do you want me to hand it to you?
Dead.
Oh, no.
Or just try to turn it on?
Try and turn it on.
Just hold in the power button.
Yeah, and let go eventually.
It came up blue. Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Is it in the same?
Nope.
Nope.
There we go.
This is not getting edited out.
Nope.
Don't edit anything.
Raw and uncut.
Grandpa! Oh, boy.
So if you guys watching hear anyone yelling at Grandpa's my dog.
No, it's not. That's just what Josh says.
Yeah,
so people
I don't
think
really
he's
have my grandfather in a
grandpa's on
cage.
leash. He's in the other room eating pills.
Oh,
They're just M&Ms though.
So anyways.
Anyways, after the technical difficulties, welcome back everybody. We were talking about the attic. I assumed the attic, being that woman got taken from the underground. I just thought that it was in the underground somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think I guessed it was her attic right away specifically, but I was not surprised
When it was.
when it became when they revealed that.
You know what? I'm just gonna admit I was totally surprised.
I actually was surprised as well.
I was surprised that they went. Like, I figured she was just gonna come downstairs and be like, oh, and I didn't expect her to fall to the fucking ceiling.
That was one of my favorite scenes.
Everyone just standing there.
Because of the cut. It's been some time since we've been sitting at the coffee table talking to them people, and she frees herself and then falls through the ceiling to land on the coffee table, what seems like 40 feet below.
Yeah.
With them all about to walk out the door. I loved that shot.
Okay, I just had a moment. Like, if she was in the attic, that's definitely a second-story house.
from the very beginning, that living quarters was always a vaulted ceiling all the way
Was
up.
it? Okay.
Yeah,
I
pay
didn't.
attention.
I just thought about it, but
Yep.
okay.
Because I noticed that when they did the pan above, there was no second story above the first two rooms.
Okay.
And then and even when they walk in the doors and stuff and look, you can tell it's a vaulted ceiling. I loved that house. I loved that whole set.
I'll have to go back and watch it again, I think.
God, that could have been like a 40-foot fall.
It really was.
Jeez.
I mean, and like the funny thing is, like, man, that house is so put together, but you can just fall right through that attic like that.
Yeah, because it wasn't just like open joists in the floor. It was a
floor.
It was a floor attic.
We're going through our contractor mindset. It's like, well, see the spacing on studs. I don't know, man.
I thought for sure.
I do that. I have to think about
It's
those
not
things when I watch these
OSHA-approved,
movies.
that's for sure.
I thought for sure though when the detective is chasing Gabriel through the underground, I was like, oh man, see, he's seen Gabriel's face. Like, he can clearly tell this is not Madison. He's about to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's the saving grace to saying, nah, that wasn't her. He's about to die for sure, and he just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper. And just the cool stuff he kept coming across, like, in the underground, like, the last room he's in is all the horse buggies, like, just in there. I thought that was so cool. And they're all preserved because they've been underground for 150 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I really liked that they used a lot of that local visualization to it. I thought that was really cool.
I think, right off the bat, I think this is going to become its own universe. I think it would be great to see more story fleshed out and more things happening. But it would be really cool eventually to see more stuff happening in that underground area. I don't know what, but just to keep that included.
I thought another really cool scene for me was when Gabriel was telling her to cut the slice of cake. I picked that up way too fast. Like, I knew exactly what was happening, and I was like, I cannot wait to see this. And then everything melts away, and that cake is the mom's belly that's pregnant with her little sister. I thought that was cool. I was like, I knew it was going to happen, but I wanted to see it really bad, and I'm glad they did it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So some of the bigger payoff scenes of the movie would be the jail cell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then
She just
the
wrecks
police
face.
station slaughtering.
The mulleted prison woman.
That was interesting. Like, I was wondering where it was gonna go. Like, I mean, they took it pretty far doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Which was that, like we said before, the 80s over the topness. Let's kill everybody in this room.
Right.
Like, thank you.
And they did it well. They did it really well.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we see the dormant Madison.
Yeah, with her
Eyes closed,
being able to
just-
see her face.
Yeah.
And that's a weird image to see, like that double facing type thing.
It was, like I said, it's an uncomfortable thing to
It's
look
bizarre.
at.
Yeah, definitely bizarre.
Because even when Gabriel gets his jacket back, his supervillain outfit, then we start seeing Madison's face under the cuff and stuff like that. Real quick to swing back, when she's laying in the bed and watching the guy get killed in the apartment, like in his bed, that's the first time we see Gabriel's face.
Right.
And the preliminary sketch at the police department when the detective's like, I'm supposed to put out a bolo for Sloth from the Goonies.
Right.
I lost it. I was dying. Like, my deep laugh.
Just laughing
I
from
could
the
not, I'm like
bowels.
wheezing. I could not handle myself because she just was like, we're supposed to put a bolo out for Sloth from the Goonies. And she was dead serious. It was, I loved that lady. I was so
She was
happy.
good, yeah. Yeah, she was very entertaining.
Well, that's like even in the police department scene, you know, after she shows up and everyone's like all shot up and stabbed and whatever, she goes to start dialing 911 and she's like, no, why am I calling the cops? Like, we are the cops.
That was the CSI girl.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What did they call her?
I didn't care too
Miss
much
Lonely
for
Heart or
her.
something. I thought it was funny.
I liked her just because it was that, like you said earlier, like the audience intelligence kind of shining through in the movie.
I didn't get that from her, but I don't know. I was just like, oh, they're like her and the detective, that like sexual tension kind of thing between them. I'm like,
Well, it's
that's
like an obvious, like,
unnecessary.
she's got a deep crush and he does not have any interest at all.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny. The introduction to this character is they go to Madison's house for her boyfriend Derek, her husband Derek. He's died, and the Detective Shaw is like, "Well, what are we looking at?" And she's like, "Oh my God, like this is crazy. I haven't ever seen this before. Maybe in an automobile accident, but not like this." And there's just this like knot in his neck where he's been like decapitated through his skin.
Yeah.
And like just her excitement about what she's trying to explain to him, I was like, okay, you're like one of those weird forensics people. Like I've seen this on CSI and NCIS and stuff. Like there's always that weird person in there. So I mean, like they have to have the technical difficulties yet again.
Oh no,
Gimbal. All right.
So today's episode is going to be about Malignant.
Not starting over. It's not happening.
Not at all. I'm hungry. I want dinner. Okay, so where we speak? Oh, okay, we're talking about the detective, or we're talking about the campiness of the CSI.
Yeah.
Let's get back to that police station scene because that was probably one of my favorite, like, uber violent scenes in the movie. Like, I really liked her in the jail cell. I liked how she was. I like when she found her outfit and her knife.
Yeah.
And I liked just going through the police station, like ripping everybody apart. Just the cold defenses and attacks that the character was doing. I liked that the Detective Shaw says, "We need to get her," and then the other detective goes, "Go get him." Like they were split on what they believe.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a cool aspect of their own characters. You know, they were split on what they believed, but I thought the whole scene was cool. Like the fighting, I liked it. I liked watching how that thing moved. Like we got a little glimpse of how Gabriel moved in the underground, and now we have like a full-blown scene of how Gabriel's moving through this police station, and I just thought that was cool.
Yeah. And just imagine choreographing that, because it looked like the person was really doing all that backwards movement stuff. It's like,
that's what I was thinking
wow.
while watching it. I'm like, how did they do it in reverse? No, they didn't do it in reverse. Like they were actually moving backwards.
And then
that's
find
so
she probably
weird.
trained for months. Yeah.
Behind the scenes, it's just
yeah.
CGI.
Right.
Like really, really good CGI.
Oh, it's a Muppet.
Mop bucket. Oh man. Yeah, I enjoyed the backwards movement. I thought that was a cool aspect of it. Because we've seen Split in the physical change of the body that James McAvoy goes, like, you see him turn into the beast, like gets muscly and ripped, climbs on the roof and everything. That is cool when we see that character do that stuff. It's not just, this isn't Madison blacking out and doing all this stuff. It's actually something taking over her body, cracking her bones, turning her arms around.
Yeah.
Those scenes were cool when she was transforming into it and the cracking of the bones and then
even just like
the feet,
the stiffness of her fingers, it's just ugh.
Because if you think about it, like her hands are backwards, so even her fingers were broken backwards.
Oh.
Because the gripping of the knife, the thumb was down.
Oh.
So the fingers were...
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, the fingers were wrapped around backwards. They weren't... it wasn't like this.
Right.
It was like this.
I did not catch that. I'll have to look at it again. That's really creepy
The
thinking
thumbs were
about it.
down. That's what I noticed. I noticed the thumbs were down. I guess putting my hands behind my back, the elbows would just break, but the hands would still grip with the thumbs down. But there was just a lot of really cool like unnecessary bone cracking to reform this body.
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice.
Hmm.
And I liked the development of the abusive husband, like bashing her head up against the wall. That's what wakes up this dormant parasitic twin that's been living in her body her whole life. Like, and that's why her head keeps bleeding. I kept thinking, like, it's been weeks.
Yeah, why is it
Right, like,
bleeding?
Why is her head still bleeding? Like, why wouldn't they have stitched her up at the hospital?
Yeah. I guess we had talked about if she would have really, like, if the sister would have actually died, it would have, like, triggered her. Well, I guess her trigger was really when she realized that Gabriel killed her baby.
Yeah. Multiple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So that
Yeah.
would definitely be a big trigger. And so
Well, killed
like, early on in
multiple
the
babies.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. One thing
man.
that I guess was annoying to me with the sister, when she's like, "Oh yeah, your baby died." It was just like, it's your sister, and she
That's
lost her
shitty.
baby. Like we could have put a little more emotion into that one, but you know,
Well,
it's
even when they,
whatever.
like you said, when she found out that Gabriel was the one causing, the babies to die, it wasn't just him killing the babies, it was him using the baby meat
To get strong.
To
to get
live, yeah.
stronger. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. I'm consuming your babies.
Right.
Delicious, delicious babies.
I would have had a problem with the sister dying also, because she's got all the information now. Like, I hate that. I hate when in a movie the person that just figured all this stuff out, just got all this information, did all this research, dies. And it's like, they're the key. Like, you can't just wipe them out.
Right.
Unless that's the story. Like, they have to die because they don't want anybody else to know all that information. Like, I get that point of it. But, like, this sister knew where to go. The sister knew Gabriel was going to go after the mom.
Mm-hmm.
The sister connected the mom to Gabriel with all this information. Like,
Yeah.
the
Right.
sister was, like, empowered with this knowledge that she used.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, I know what's going to happen next. Go here. And then all the cops show up like her sister went. I like that whole scene, too. Like, again, with the electrical stuff, the pacemaker thing was weird. Like, it was almost
It was
like
kind
a
of just
squib
thrown
going
out
off.
there. Yeah.
But I did like that dude dies, lights go out, boom, there's Gabriel standing right behind him.
Right. In our room.
Cut this part out.
Edit.
Don't cut anything. But I did like that the sister, I did like the sister surviving through that. I was okay with that aspect.
You're alright, okay.
Yeah, it was alright.
Yeah, just kill her off.
Just kill her off. Because, like, I'll think about, like, say, movies have a habit of, like, not killing the people, but then your more dramatic series will kill certain people off, I guess.
Yeah.
But that always gets a much bigger emotional impact by doing that. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like I really wish the movies would start doing that and giving you that hit,
Right.
It may be a downer, yeah, but it just, I'm sick of plot armor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
kind
true.
of thing. Like, I don't want I don't want the main characters to be safe just because they're main characters, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't know where the balance is.
It's almost like sometimes, like, especially with this, we're talking about seeing this in an entire universe.
Yeah.
Like, seeing possibly this, maybe he's about to write 2 more movies that are going to link all together, and M. Night Shyamalan is his favorite writer. So he's going to pay a montage and homage to M. Night Shyamalan by
Shalahan.
Shyamalan.
Shamalamala.
I like Shalahan.
I like
Shyamalan.
Shalahan Auto Parts.
Mr. O'Shalahan. M. Night O'Shalahan. O'Shallahassee.
He's
O'Shaughnessy.
Irish,
Yeah. So maybe he's like gonna set this up in a universe and saving that character for the next.
Yeah, or
because-
not. Yeah, and I definitely expect to see a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will definitely warranty a sequel.
Where would you go with it? Gabriel would have to come back. There'd have to be a reason for Gabriel to come back.
Yeah, but you figure he's still physically
He's
there.
still there.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, if maybe
he breaks out of his prison cell that she puts him in,
or maybe
Right.
she ends up in an accident and is put into a vegetative state or something. Who knows? You know, like
Right.
something like that. You know,
I feel like it's gonna be like a "you need me, let me free."
maybe.
You know, it's
Or
gonna
I'm
be
going
that,
to kill you if you don't let me out.
What's
or
the
something? You know.
You know, what's worse of the two evils kind of situation.
Yeah.
But I feel like the sister is going to be a more powerful role in that. I think she's going to be more of like she's
like
going to
the
educate
gatekeeper.
Madison of everything that she doesn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting.
Or it's a one and done.
Yeah, or it's a one and done, which I think will be fine. It doesn't need sequels, but it could, I think. But
I think it could open up a really cool universe.
I do miss the tropey sequels. Talking about Halloween Kills, we're going to review Halloween Kills coming up. I loved all the Halloween movies, except for the third one. But
That one doesn't exist.
you know, even just recently, my love for the Halloween movies have been nostalgic.
yeah,
And recently, Sarah and I watched the 2018 Halloween, which I think this is the one you need to catch up on.
yeah,
And I was kind of looking at it, and I was explaining to her the timeline, and I didn't realize how many timelines Halloween has.
Oh yeah.
Because when you're watching it as a kid, you're watching 1, 2, 3, 4, Revenge, Curse,
You're not
and then you're going to
necessarily trying connect
H2O
them.
and Resurrection.
Yeah.
But in reality, there's 3 timelines. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. And then there's 1, 2, H2O, Resurrection. And then now there's Halloween, the 2018 Halloween, and Halloween Kills, and next year Halloween Ends. Hopefully we're still on podcast then.
yeah.
And then
Stay
there's obviously
tuned.
the Rob Zombie remake of 1 and 2. So I now want to go back and rewatch it, Halloween, Halloween 2, H2O, Resurrection, just to refresh my brain on it. But
Mhm.
I think that the fact that they've revisited the character so much, and even looking back at it, there's been so many different writers and directors that I didn't know about, even from talking our first episode of this, the Review Dudes. Even that stuff I was wrong about. Like, there was so many different writers and directors on this, and I want to go back through and revisit that stuff. So, like, come out with a slasher. Give me 5 slasher movies of
Yeah.
the same person, like Scream.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the most recent one they've done, I'd imagine. But come out with a slasher. Give me 7 movies of this unstoppable killer and up the ante every time. Awesome.
Yeah, it is a fun thing to get to see. Yeah. So there's some more underground ones. Obviously, there's going to be some low budget here and there, like Victor Crowley movies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the Fast and the Furious movies too.
I haven't heard of those ones. Those are underground.
They're
But-
scary.
They're going to be in space, I'm sure.
They were in the last one.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
God, I
Yes, they were.
can't do it.
Battling satellites.
I see.
Yeah.
One thing that was so when I first started watching the trailers for Malignant, they were kind of pushing like the imaginary friend kind of angle to it.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that idea.
So I have a recommendation.
Ooh.
There's a movie. It's on Shudder. It's called Daniel Isn't Real. Highly recommend it. It's
I think I've seen the trailer. for that.
yeah, check it out. I thought I thoroughly enjoyed that one. It was a cool take on the imaginary friend type thing.
I wish more people had Shudder, because we could almost do a weekly Shudder recommendation.
I definitely could. I've seen a lot of the movies. Shudder, if you're listening, if you get to this somehow, we really enjoy Shudder. You get to see a lot of low budget things that, a lot of film festival type movies, but there's a lot of really good movies on there, and they're adding so many every week. I think they add probably an average of 5 movies a week, and I don't think any go away. I think they just keep adding to the list. I could be wrong about that, but
We'll find out.
I could probably do an episode on all the just like giving a list of really good Shudder movies, to be honest, or at least ones that I've seen.
That would definitely be worth it.
I think that'd be cool.
Daniel Isn't Real.
Daniel Isn't Real, yeah.
Check that out. Cool.
It's pretty cool. It's got some pretty amazing designs in it. I'll say that.
As
and
we're
some cool ideas.
As we're winding down, we're getting into a little BSing here.
Yeah.
Overall thoughts of Malignant. I think we all enjoyed it.
I think I think we enjoyed it. I was on the fence about it, but like I think I had to put myself into a different mindset than what I was originally in, and yeah, I think it was cool.
I feel like that. I feel very similar to that too, because I was expecting like the imaginary friend, like almost like ghostly, like poltergeist kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. See, I didn't even know what to expect. I hadn't seen the trailer or anything for it, and
you went in super dry.
I went in super dry. Yeah.
Are you raw now?
Crusty.
Raw and crusty.
Getting away from that disgusting image. Is there any movies you guys are, other than Halloween Kills, because we all know I'm stoked about that. Is there any movies you guys are really looking forward to over the next month or so? Couple months?
I know there is. I'm trying to think what they are.
Is anybody excited for Ghostbusters?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I was like, I know there's one or two coming out that I'm really excited for. Ghostbusters, definitely. And that's November, right?
Yeah.
oh no shit.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to go.
Yeah, I think
make a
November's
plan to go see that together. So.
15th or something like that.
I
could be
am
wrong about
so
that.
down for that.
Yeah.
I
seems to be a
already
lot of
have
good
some
movies coming out in
ideas on
November.
what I'm expecting to see in some of it, but I think they're doing a good job with the trailers where not a lot is getting exposed. So I'm really excited about that.
I was in the camp of really excited for the last Ghostbusters movie, and was so let down.
I'm sure
like,
the
I don't
world was
mind-
let down, I think.
I don't mind the actresses that took over the roles. I thought they did a really good job picking the actresses. I thought that was really funny, but like just even Bill Murray's cameo in that.
I haven't even seen it.
Oh boy.
I didn't realize Bill Murray was in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the next horror movie you gotta watch.
But
And it
Ghostbusters
does look-
was a big deal when I was a kid. I loved
Oh,
the
yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
I loved the
everybody-
Tim Burton Batmans. Like
Oh yeah.
I was really into
yeah.
that stuff too. So and that's another thing. The Flash movie, they're bringing back Keaton's Burton
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah.
I think that's really
I'm pretty
cool.
excited about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, there is a on Netflix they have like the movies that made us or whatever. The episode on Ghostbusters is a lot of fun.
Really good, solid.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like they had no idea what they were doing.
Right.
And it was just like it came together so perfectly. It's like they didn't even review the special effects. They just put them in the movie.
Right.
Gimbal, what are you doing?
Heartbreak.
So maybe this is the perfect time to wrap it up then.
Yeah, I'd have to say so.
All right. So overall, like I said at the beginning, I'm definitely add Malignant to collection. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it if it's on. I don't necessarily need it.
I'll rewatch it for sure.
When that gimbal dies, can you put up the TV? You remember in Back to the Future when it comes up and it's got like the
Indians in the
yeah,
corner.
yeah.
and
Can you put
yeah.
that image up?
Definitely.
Okay.
100%.
That would be fun. All right.
Crudely,
Yeah.
if possible.
Oh, can we just film me holding the sign with my fingers in it and everything? Like that would be kind of funny. Like all like slant-eyed.
I'm so down.
Okay, we'll have to work on that.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us. What's our next one? Did we come up with a
Halloween Kills.
Halloween
Oh yeah,
Kills.
Halloween Kills would
Yeah.
be the next one. Yeah.
And were we were gonna do Malignant later on, but we decided to do it now. Did we have another one lined up?
I was talking to him about maybe doing the VHS maybe since it just came out.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's current.
Yeah.
So I think next episode will be next episode
Next should be the Halloween Kills. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All
I
right.
cannot
Well,
wait.
thank y'all for joining us. We're the Review Dudes. This is Jason.
This is Josh.
And this is PJ. As always, please like and subscribe, comment, send us messages, tell us what we're doing wrong, tell us what you think of these movies that we're reviewing. And thank you so much for all the views. Keep them coming.
Check out our Facebook page that we'll have down in the description.
We're the review dudes.
We're the review dudes.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Love you.